Today, my friends, is a very exciting day for us mobile gamers because the Rainbow Six Mobile developers finally announced the start date for their closed beta, as well as the 7 different countries that you're going to be able to play in. Now, don't worry. I know a lot of people probably freaked out when I said 7 countries. There is going to be a workaround. You are going to be able to play the game anywhere around the world. And stay tuned because in a couple of days, I'm going to make a video explaining exactly how you can play the game anywhere around the world, even if you're not a part of the 7 countries. So subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss that. But anyways, as you guys can see right here, I have some very exclusive closed beta gameplay that I recorded myself a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to share with you all. Here's some of the highlights of my gameplay, and in today's video, I'd like to talk about some of the things that I liked about this gameplay and the very few things that I didn't like about it, because honestly, this is a very good looking game right now. To me, it looks ready for release, but I can see why they're doing a beta test. They just want to be completely confident that the game is 100% ready to go before they finally release it globally. But yeah, whether or not you guys realize this, I was a part of a very exclusive group of mobile gaming content creators that were flown out to Montreal by Ubisoft to meet the Ubisoft Montreal developer team for Rainbow Six Mobile and actually ask them questions about the game, see their whole timeline and future plans for Rainbow Six Mobile, as well as actually playing the game. We even played the game against the developers, and I gotta say, the content creators, us, we did pretty good against the developers. They ended up sort of beating us in the end, but honestly, we did pretty good considering these guys have been grinding this game for years now at this point in time. But yeah, it's just a fantastic experience that I had while I was there. I can't wait to go back. I have never been to a gaming event before. I've never even met or talked to other YouTubers, aside from like a couple of times all the way back in 2014. So this is like my first time ever going to a big event like this, and it was better than anything I could have possibly imagined. The second we walked in the door, everybody started clapping and cheering. We walked right down the line of clapping people. We sat down at this long table. They had this big stage with cool cutout figures of Rainbow Six characters. And then the developers started walking up on stage one after another, and they started talking about some very exclusive and juicy information regarding Rainbow Six Mobile. They talked about the timeline that they have for this game's like next year or so, talking about the things that they planned on adding over the next couple of months. And then we actually got to ask questions to the developers, getting pretty much every answer that we could possibly want. Like, if you have questions down below in the comments, I probably know the answer to them. So start asking questions. I'd love to try and answer things, assuming it's okay for me to talk about that, because a lot of that stuff, pretty secretive stuff, because, you know, obviously some things are subject to change. But I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about my experiences when I did play this closed beta, because we did end up playing for a couple of hours. We played against the developers. We played against some bots just to like get the feel of the game. We played against other content creators, and overall, I had a really, really good experience. Now, I really like Rainbow Six Siege in general, but honestly, when I first started playing the alpha test for the game a couple of months ago, I was kind of like, it's pretty good, you know? It's like an 8 out of 10 or something like that, right? There are other games that are pretty clearly better than the alpha test for Rainbow Six Mobile, but honestly, starting to play this beta test version, it is just so much better than the alpha test version. So if you've played the alpha test version of Rainbow Six Mobile before and you maybe complained about graphics, that's not something that you're gonna complain about anymore, because the graphics are like miles ahead compared to the alpha version of the game. It looks like 2 completely different games almost, all right? The lighting, the graphics, the gameplay feels a lot smoother. The animations and the gun mechanics feel a lot better. The sounds of the guns and just everything sounds really good. Nothing sounds tinny. Nothing sounds cheap. It seems like they really did a good job with the sounds in the game. And overall, I had a very stable experience playing this beta version of the game. And you think about it and you feel like beta versions of games would generally be the games that are like the least stable, right? Like you're gonna have a lot of bugs. And honestly, swear to God, I don't know how happy Ubisoft is gonna be for me saying this because maybe they don't want me to mention this at all. I only encountered one bug when I was playing this beta version of Rainbow Six Mobile. One bug over like 3 hours. And for a beta version of the game, that's really good. And the craziest thing is when I encountered that one bug, I was pretty quiet the whole time. I was just like, oh, hey, I encountered a little bug right here, and everybody just swooped in. All the developers came in and they were like, oh my God, there's a bug? Like, they were actually genuinely shocked. And when they saw the problem that I had, which was like a little bit of like a gun animation glitch, half of them like rushed away, and it seemed like they immediately got to work trying to fix this bug. Like, that's a proactive team if I've ever seen one. The second a bug appears, they immediately are going to work and fixing them. There's a lot of game developers out there that know about bugs and they just choose to do nothing about it. They're just like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Like, very few people are going to encounter it, so it's probably nothing, right? That's literally the exact opposite of Rainbow Six Mobile Team. They're literally actively fixing bugs, probably right now as we're speaking. So, I mean, like, this game is going to be really, really polished. It's going to be very smooth, and I feel like when you play this beta version of the game, you're going to experience very little bugs. And the thing is you sort of need that when you're playing a game like this. This is an extremely competitive game, and there are big plans for esports and other stuff in the future. And you can't have a game that's unstable when you're doing all of these big tournaments, right? So expect this game to be very smooth and stable because they are planning on doing all of this esports stuff in the near future, all right? So yeah, that's basically that. I got to test out a lot of different guns and operators, and honestly, still just like the alpha, my favorite types of weapons are the ARs and the SMGs, and I still really don't know the best ways to barricade. I'm like just barricading random places that I think would be pretty good. I think I've actually improved when it comes to the drones, and one big thing that I think the developers improved upon with this Rainbow Six Mobile version is the fact that the menu screen times are greatly reduced. I don't know if you really realize this, but when you played the alpha version of Rainbow Six Mobile, it took minutes before you actually jumped into a match. It took a long time trying to find a match and then getting the match set up, choosing all the different characters. It took like minutes at a time, and that was greatly reduced to a much shorter amount of time, so it's a lot more manageable, and it keeps that core thing going for Rainbow Six Mobile that it's one of those games where you can play it for a very short period of time. Like, if you have 5 minutes of free time in between classes, you could play a match of Rainbow Six Mobile no problem. You can't really do that with most other mobile games. Like a Battle Royale game, you have to have like 40 minutes of free time in order to play. Now, I always feel like this could be improved upon. They could cut corners and make it a little bit more streamlined, and that's maybe the one thing that I could complain about when it comes to this beta version of Rainbow Six Mobile. There's really not too many things that I can complain about, but I still think they could improve the menu times just a bit to make it a little bit faster, just so we can actually have like 60-70% of total playtime actually in the match playing the game and not like 60% of the time in the menus, if that makes sense. One thing for me that was really cool was actually playing with other people. I'm the type of person that always plays matches solo. I never play with other people, so it was really cool actually playing matches with other people and getting to talk with them and being like, oh, the guy's on the stairs, the guy's in the elevator, stuff like that, right? And it actually worked out really, really well. Some of those YouTubers that I was playing with were insanely good. I'm not going to mention names because I think you guys probably know some of the mobile gaming YouTubers that are, you know, the best out there. But for me, I was just messing around. I was the casual player out of the bunch. I was failing a lot of times and I just died. There were times where the developers just dropped down through the ceiling and they were shooting at me and I didn't even know where they were. I was looking around thinking that they were at my level and they were up there. They were literally up there. So I don't even know, man. There were times that I definitely showed my true newbiness in Rainbow Six Mobile, but you know what? It's one of those games where it's definitely going to take a long time for you to get really good at. But honestly, that's okay, because not every single mobile game that comes out needs to be a game that has a super streamlined experience so a noob can go to pro in a couple of days, because then that wouldn't be that fun, you know? Then everybody's good right from the very beginning, and a lot of people are going to lose interest pretty quickly. If it takes a long time for you to get good, then you're going to spend more hours in the game, and overall the game's probably going to do a lot better, which is obviously a good thing. And there are always ways that you can make the game a little bit easier for beginning players, encouraging them to maybe complete missions or some sort of training mode or stuff like that. That might be something that could potentially be added in the future. We don't really know yet right now in present day, but I feel like that's just something that makes sense, and they're probably going to add that at some point in time. There's so many other like different game modes and other stuff like that that they've talked about adding into the game, so it's not going to just be the same boring, you know, one team is attacking, one team is defending, you go head to head, stuff like that. There's a lot more different game modes that are being planned, and there's just so many cool things. I don't really know what I can share with you all, so I feel like I could probably keep it at that. And honestly, over the next couple of days, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information revealed on the Rainbow Six Mobile Twitter, as well as maybe even on their YouTube channel and other stuff like that. Honestly, it's a really good idea to follow their Twitter, because they're constantly putting out tons of pictures and videos and information that you don't really find on YouTube. And yeah, if you follow their Twitter, you're going to get the information first. Also, while you're at it, follow me at Exotic Gaming on Twitter. I post some regular updates regarding Rainbow Six Mobile, as well as so many other games. And yeah, honestly, I just hope to see you guys in Rainbow Six Mobile when the closed beta starts. So yeah, honestly, that's basically it for today's video. I want to give a massive thanks to Ubisoft Montreal for inviting me out to Montreal to meet with the developer team, and it was a great experience. I had such a fun time in Montreal, and I hope to come back at some point relatively soon. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Can't wait for Rainbow Six Mobile, and hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below for more Rainbow Six Mobile content, and I'll see you all in the next episode.